I have this background in graffiti, and I had this big archive of photos, and I wanted to do something with them. And when I was, regularly working with the festival, with the Journeys International, because of the stories of the whole thing behind the project and photos, it became natural that it needs to turn into a virtual reality. And that was when Journeys Festival put me in touch with Steven, and things happened very organically from there,
My background's in documentary, but I was starting to veer more into immersive, just because I thought I was just really interested in nonfiction storytelling in this really intimate medium.
The reliance of the whole project is on storytelling rather than those footages, which I think it's the right thing to do, actually, because that's what the audience would connect to.
What was great about that was it just gave us like a really specific focus, a direction to go down for audiences to kind of like trigger these different story beats that they would then sort of gather more information about Parham's story.
Yeah, it was a perfect spot because it was kind of in public, but kind of hidden, because it was lower than the ground floor and it was covered with trees around it. Graffiti in Iran is highly politicized, just like anything else. Because it has a highly Western aesthetics to it, no matter what you do with graffiti, it's so associated with the West. It just puts you in trouble, no matter what you paint, no matter what you do, no matter what's your message. We share stories with each other and we share experience, and especially in the current situation of UK, kind of, I feel like the message of the whole thing was that, don't take freedom, don't take it for granted. Freedom could be taken away any moment. It's something you need to stand up for it. And what happened was that after painting there for a while, for a few months, I got detained, and the whole water channel was painted white, and all these graffiti pieces painted by me and other graffiti artists in there, and they were all just painted over within a day. And and it was a really amazing experience, because I assume, as a teenager, as a young adult, you kind of, that's how you map the society. You go out there and you face it, right? You go out. So graffiti was my way of facing the city and mapping the society in that time.
This idea of the impermanence of this particular art form, the sort of how easily it can come and then it can go. All the graffiti disappears at the end of the experience, right? But actually, any graffiti work that the player creates does remain. It stays in the experience. This phase of the project has also really been about the fact that this was being experienced, this more recent version being experienced in a public setting, like the people were doing it together, and getting to have a conversation afterwards and just seeing the response. But so actually, I mean, Parham, you probably agree with this, there's been different phases to the project, because originally it was just online last year, one iteration of it, and then we built in these new elements that people got to enjoy in person, in VR for the first time.
Journeys Festival is doing something really important. It's all about conversation. I think Journeys Festival is like this bridge between different groups of people to talk, to have a conversation. It's a really important festival to me.
It felt like a really strong collaboration. This project wouldn't being what it was without every single person who ended up involved.
It wouldn't be possible without Journeys Festival, absolutely.